Yo, guys, I'm back, man. I was away, but same old Chelsea, same old Chelsea. Is what it is, isn't it? A lot of you are wondering where I've been. I'm not running off. I'm not going anywhere crazy. I just been busy with life. That's all it is. It's about everyone in the comments, man. Everyone's saying top five's done. I would care, but I don't care about top five. So at the end of the day, it is where it is in that perspective. So we move. And did he be surprised by us losing? No. And that's why I say, the ice cream van, trying to give me treats and that. We don't deserve treats. We don't deserve UCL. We don't deserve nothing, bro. It is what it is. I barely saw the game because I was doing my thing. But from what I saw, it was stinky. It was stinky. So all the rivals in here, all the Chelsea fans, please let me know how bad the game was from a Chelsea perspective. Because from what I saw, it was crazy. It was crazy. I wanted you to have a second. Hey, big up Chiavelli, man. Big up Chiavelli. I want everyone in here to tell me how bad it was. Because for me, with this club, I don't really know, innit? Like, man's on a vibes thing. You get me? I've got ads joining as well and Dev joining. They're going to rant, apparently. That's what they've told me. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. But if you're new here, do me a favor, you know. Do me a favor and subscribe to the channel because I want to get the subs up. Come joke, man. Doing the most, innit? It was a derby. I mean, that's not an excuse to be crap, innit? I hear what you're saying, but I wouldn't say it's an excuse to be crap. We're saying facts, bro. How you feeling, facts? I know you went to the game. How you feeling, bro? Because I don't really know what to make of anything right now, innit? That's kind of just vibes in with this Chelsea thing. I know a lot of people have vested interest in top four and all that. For me, not really. Like, if we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't kind of thing. That's how I see it. But I want everyone else thinks, man. Sometimes when so much on the line is not a good spectacle. Yeah, because people get reserved. I get that. People want to be reserved in the game. They don't want to like overexert energy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Chelsea need to win, bro. So did Arsenal. And that's probably why it's stinky performance overall. But I would say that, I don't know, man. I would say, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but Chelsea aren't at the level yet, and Arsenal are expected to win the league. So when you lose 2-1 in the manner we did, from what I've seen, I don't know if it's a crash out thing, but it's definitely not like this means Arsenal the greatest team or Chelsea the worst team. We kind of didn't learn much from the game from what I saw, but what we did see is the kind of stuff we already knew beforehand anyway. So it's one of them ones, isn't it? Like, it's one of them ones. I don't know how much more to use. I personally don't think top five makes a difference to my summer. I made the prediction that I think top five for Chelsea or non-top five will still have a good window either way. That's my prediction. So I said last stream. My fun fact is that Chelsea actually have a good window and we push on. I don't know why I think that. That could be hopium, but that's slightly why I don't care about top five. If that makes sense. That's one of the reasons why I don't care about it. But overall, I can see why a lot of people would say things like top five is done and whatnot. I do get that. Football cycles, 100%. Yeah, but this is why I don't really get into the nitty gritty of, oh, we beat you 10 times. Like, win trophies and then come back to me. It would be the same if Chelsea were doing this and weren't winning anything. If someone said to me, but Chelsea, you won nothing, I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, you know what? I'm still beating you to shush. Fun enough. But obviously, you have to be humble with it as well at the same time. You get me? That's why it's a bit 50-50 for me in terms of you beating us, yes, but what's Arsenal really done with that? I don't know what they've done with that kind of winning thing. But, you know, it is what it is. People got to be shameless. It's part of the game, innit? Bit of ads in the building, man. Long time.
Yo, my bro. Hope you're doing good, man. How was the holiday, bro?
Yeah, I had a great trip, man. This didn't really ruin it for me because towards the end of it, I didn't get to see second half. But from what I've seen, it was much of the same. So it doesn't look like I missed out on much. If I had told ads before we'd get a red card, we'd concede but play decent, would he be shocked? No. So it's one of them ones.
No,
Like,
of course not. Of course not.
yeah,
That's the jarring. The jarring thing really is that they gave you hope in the game. So it's like we go into the game, we're thinking, oh, we know what's going to really happen at the end of the day. Again, obviously you spoke about being kind of optimistic. Maybe that was just the sun, the holiday vibes that kind of had you optimistic, but we might win. And obviously, I'm there too. Listen, on match day, no matter who we're playing against, I'm always supporting the team, thinking, you know what, we're going to get it done. But as I'm saying that, I'm also understanding that this team always finds ways to cost themselves. And listen, when I'm talking to my boys about the game, I'm like, okay, I think we're going to beat you, man. But that's only if we avoid bozo moments and we avoid red cards. And what happened is that happened exactly like that. And that's just the frustration because in the game, again, it was going how we expected to go in terms of, you know, we're bopping it decently. We're creating some chances, but obviously we're lacking some cutting edge. Obviously, they get their set piece goal, but then we reply with a set piece goal of our own. So you're thinking, you know what, we're actually in there. And then we're in the ascendancy. We're actually having the better of it in the second half because first half was probably just slightly them. Second half was us. And that's where it's like, oh, you know, we're actually getting confident. We might do something. And then Sanchez happens, you know? And then after that, shortly after, Neto happens with the red card. So it's frustrating. It's deja vu once again. But we're here to talk about it, man, and get it off our chest in it. So it just is what it is.
Dev said he's gonna jump on and rant and that. I don't know if it's a that thing for me. Definitely not. But I hear what you're saying here. But bro, let's not do the Arsenal thing, innit? Like I hear what you're saying. I hear you. The ref was stinky, and my boy's an Arsenal fan who watched it with me. He's probably gonna watch this back. Even said he's proper chill about Arsenal. He doesn't gloat in my face. But even he said the ref was bad before even the challenges happened. So I was like, you know what? On this game, maybe, but overall, let's not make that an excuse. We need to hold accountability for actions, innit? As a football club, sporting directors, football players. But what Ad's saying there is spot on, man. Like, from what I saw the start of the second half. I saw us bopping the ball around. Enzo had a chance saved. João Pedro should have scored from the header. He probably should have scored that, to be honest with you. The save at the very end, I saw in the highlights from Garnacho. So it's not like Chelsea didn't have chances. And that's what's frustrating is that they scored from another set piece, which we've seen this season. And that's the reason why we don't get the result. And all these results, like Ads will know, they change the narrative. You draw against Arsenal, come back, people look at you a little bit different. But all these small margins we're losing out on recently is making the narrative for us worse. So it's making us look even worse than we were before, i.e. last year. Because things don't go your way in football, small margins. That could be the difference between signing a player or perspective or the mood in the camp, mood as fans. And these small margins all season haven't gone our way. Hopefully, it can go away in the cups or for making top 5 for you, man, because I don't care about it really. I'll be honest, I don't really give a toss. But I will explain why. But in terms of the cup ads, let's just hope, and this is nothing to do with the games we're going to speak about, but let's just hope for the cups we do get that small margin. Because that would be great. If in the league we're unlucky, we're not doing our thing, but we're creating chances, or like Leeds, we're winning, we can't hold on. But maybe in the champs we can come back. Maybe in the champs we can hold on. But hopefully, man, because something needs to change, innit?
But that, no, 100%. Listen, we're all very aware that the current situation of the club is we're not where we were many years ago, you know, and the Club World Cup was a nice distraction from that. And listen, cups are the be one end all of football. So you're there to support your team to win cups. And we've done that. And we won the biggest cup there is, you know, the Club World Cup. I'll even go back to the Champions League in 2021 because we weren't necessarily the most set there. It was a similar season. We were, you know, we were actually top in November under Frank Lampard. And obviously then it went left. Obviously we had some injuries, especially to players like Kante, which cost us. And then, you know, Tuchel comes in and we actually win the Champions League. So it's similar in the sense that, you know, we were, you know, 3 points, we were 6 points off Arsenal when we played them at the Bridge. If we win that, we're 3 points off. But then, you know, now we're coming back.
That wasn't Christmas time. No, November.
Yeah, November. Yeah, so similar even to the Lampard season. So like we're there, we have that moment where we can actually close the gap and maybe make it look like we're going to have a serious season in the league, but we don't do that. So ultimately, I just bring that up just to say that we get where this team is right now. This is an inconsistent team that is, you know, always in the hunt for top 5, if that, because obviously we had some seasons where we finished mid-table under this ownership. So it's very frustrating. But you're right. Well, you know what it is, right? The issue with days like yesterday, Ches, the frustration is. That's the team that's top of the table. That's the team that's top of the table. They're the best team in the league, and I've always said
I
this
know where you're
season.
gonna go with this. I know
Look,
where
I'm
you're gonna go.
actually. My thing is, listen, I've never been one to say, oh, they're a bad team. They play horrible football, yeah, but they're actually a very good team, and they'll be a great team if they actually go and win trophies, right? But my issue is that's the pinnacle of the league, and we always play them close. But it's not a case of like we can't act like it's luck, because maybe if that was a one-off game, you'd be like, oh, it's unlucky that we got the red card and Sanchez mistake. No, we know Sanchez has those moments. We know this team is naive and gets those red cards very
Yep.
often. So that's the frustration, is that honestly, we're not that far off if we did things right with personnel and got the right players, and
Yeah.
probably a manager that's strong enough to manage these guys. And that's not a critique at Racine or even Maresca. These are good young coaches, but this team probably needs a solid leader, a proper, manager who's got proper experience at this level to manage these situations better. And maybe Rossini will be good enough in the end, but for right now, of course, in the short term, there was always going to be issues. Again, my real frustration just comes down to players like Palmer not stepping up how I thought they would step up coming back from injury. And obviously, I get it, he's still partly injured, but you just expect a little bit more in the final third. But other than that, it's the same frustrations we've had all year, brother. So it's jarring.
Bro, I think that's what it is. The hope that kills, especially with Chelsea, because Chelsea will do what they did yesterday, and it will make. So essentially, the issue is chat, and as knows this as a Chelsea fan, which is all the games goes on contact with rival fans. At the end of the day, results matter the most, and that's why Arsenal, as stinky as they play, because they win games and they're in good position to win trophies. You can't say anything. Ultimately, you control them, you can question it, but at the end of the day, results speak louder than the narratives. Unfortunately for Chelsea, which is why I don't really care about top five, is the reality of the last situation a few years. We're now stagnating, which I didn't predict. As didn't really predict. No one predicted Chelsea to stagnate, if not regress. I can't say regress yet because we haven't ended the season. We might get top five, top four, and win a trophy. And this conversation is different. Hence, I'm being consistent through the bad times, i.e. now. But what I'm saying is, Chelsea are actually in these games. It's not like you're watching Chelsea versus Man City, Liverpool's Arsenal. We're getting bopped, we're getting moved to, and there's a clear gulf. We're in these games, but unfortunately, these small margins is what's going to hold us back because you need to get results. It's all good playing good against Arsenal, but the reason why they've beaten us 3 times out of 4 this season is because they have the small margins, the mentality, the strength, the set pieces, and these are the difference. When you play these teams, Chelsea don't really get outplayed. Chelsea don't get outplayed, people. We don't. I don't remember last time I watched the game and said, yo, other than Bayern Munich, maybe, where I've gone, yo, like that was a really, really outplayed game. Chelsea didn't turn up. Bayern Munich's probably the only game this whole season. So it's an us problem. And that's what's annoying, is that we definitely could have done better to not make it. That is an us problem. And that's why we're frustrated. Because we watch these teams play. We see Arsenal in the league. We see Liverpool lackluster. We see Man United resurge. All these teams are still around us, despite us being rubbish for about 3-4 months now. And that shows you level the league, and thereafter the level of Chelsea. And unfortunately, yet again, I'm in the same cycle. Sorry, and Chelsea are like in like a matrix. They never improve, but do enough to give everyone the hopium. And that's why people, I don't care about top five, because I'm falling into the same trap, and I will never do that. I'm not going to be a cliche fan and do like hopium for every single thing that provides a bit of a carrot. So I'm going to be holistic about it as much as possible. Other than if you make a final or something, then you're really emotionally involved, or you play a big team like Arsenal and you just hope you do well. But on a normal level, this is why I told man that ads and all them, man, I'm on a sit and wait thing. Just like Arsenal were dead for years and they just waited. This is Chelsea's dead period. And it's not terrible. But again, like Dad's is always saying in the chat, like people say in the chat, the recruitment and stuff, it was not what we expected. We expected a bit better performances from Palmer and other players. We haven't seen it. And a lot of these combinations of things are the reason why we're sitting 5th and 6th in the league. And we're not winning games consistently. And the fans are upset. And the players are upset. And Palmer now underperforming. There's a lot of different small factors that go into the results. So ultimately, unfortunately, I don't see that changing from now to the end of the season. I just got to provide a bit of a hopium that we do well in the cups. I don't care about if we make top 5 or not, because I've already predicted I think we'll have a good summer window. I personally think we're going to regress, and I think that would make them change the model slightly. That's just my opinion. I've been consistent about that for about 2-3 months now. Unless we do very well in the season, I actually do think they'll change it up. Now, if they don't, I'll be with everyone else. What are you saying,
I
Abs?
think no, for sure. I mean, because again, this brother here, Chavelli, is saying like we're doing the copium thing and we don't care about top five because we're trying to like not care so that if we get it, we're gonna be like, oh, we got it. But if we don't get it, we're gonna be acting like, oh, it's not a big deal. But the reason why a lot of fans are having that apathy towards the window is because we saw what we did last summer when we got top five, which there was a big deal about all the briefs and everything. We also get the cash influx from winning the Club World Cup, and we essentially wasted it on £92 million worth of unproven wingers or wingers that we know aren't really level raisers. So that's the frustration that we have. But I do agree with you, Ches, that ultimately you can't keep failing like this and then not find or not realize within the club that things have to change. Again, even Rafinha in his press conference today was talking about how there needs to be a culture of accountability. And this is why I kind of like the whole Rafinha appointment. Not because I was wanting Maresca out. I was just like, okay, you know what, there's change, right? So because there's change, now maybe the club are gonna have to look internally and actually look at what things they can do better, because you can't have a gaffer talking about the culture of accountability. You're big on my guy Kali in the building, but you can't have a gaffer talking about, oh, we need to be accountable this, we need to do this, we need to do that, and be so honest, but then not have people above him being honest as well. Because maybe Maresca was feeling a certain way, and I feel like the players and Maresca were feeling this way about it as well. But they're there and they've been there a while, so obviously they're trying to toe the line and not well, obviously with Maresca, once he got to the end, he got tired of it because he wanted certain players in, and that's why he wowed out. And obviously, it was a mutual termination in the end. But my thing is with Rafinha coming in, there's no more excuses now. But they've got a new manager in that's their guy that they wanted. So if it's going left again, at some point you have to look at yourselves at the club, and especially if the guy in charge of the club, the face of the club right now, Rafinha's talking about, you've got to be accountable, you've got to make the right decisions, you've got to be, looking at the mistakes you're making. Those mistakes start at the head. Again, no matter where you go in life, it always starts at the head. So you have to look at the head, and ultimately the head of this club is making bad signings. And I'll just end on this point, which is, somebody was talking to me today about, Sarr was poor today. He didn't defend the crosses. And I'm like, brother, what do you expect, bro? The kid's 20. He just come from the French league. They don't play like NFL football in the French league where they're doing 10 man on the goalkeeper. They don't do that. So obviously, like, he should defend the better. It's actually really poor from him on both goals.
Bring me back this, Chelsea.
I can't expect better from a kid. I can't expect better from that kid who's just come to the league. So, and ultimately, I'm not going to blame the kid for that. I'm going to blame the directors who have filled us with a whole squad full of expensive assets who aren't ready to actually compete at this level in the league consistently.
Exactly, bro. Before Dev joins and says his piece, I got a few comments directed to me, not in a rude way. Let me address them though. Says you were one person happy with Blueco signing strategy for a while. You're against it now. Great question, bro. Like I kind of touched on with ads in my monologue, I am against it based on results end of the season or not. So I'm waiting to end the season. I said this from the summer. Until next summer, I'm going to see how it plays out. The reason why a lot of people have gone early is because they don't think it's going to change. I disagree with them. That's why I've remained the same. So, for example, if Ads and Deb said to you right now in the chat, I want them gone now, I wouldn't disagree with that because I understand the logic. I am just being holistic. And I'm going to wait until summer. I personally do think we might regress. So therefore, I do think they'll change it. I think the reason they haven't changed it is because we kept them regressing. Does that make sense? So until I see them regress, until I see them regress and they change, then I can't be annoyed about the fact they haven't changed because technically the model is working. Like it actually has been working.
I'll even go a step further and tell you that the model and strategy.
Hey, let me clarify though. Can I clarify something? Working in terms of we're getting success, not necessarily the level we want to be at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was going to actually provide the additional clarity, which is I don't even have an issue with the strategy or the model. I have an issue on the players and the execution of the strategy and model. Because if you, for example, and I don't want to get into players listing because then people are like, that's not realistic, this, that, and the third. But let's just say, for example, if we got like Lamine Yamal, if we got these up and coming certified ballers, your Pedris, your this, that, whatever team you want to pick from. But we're getting Garnacho, we're getting Delap, we're getting Tosin as our only most experienced elder statesman in the back line. So at a certain point in time, it's not about whether the strategy or working. We are executing our strategy terribly. Not bad, not half good, not success here and there. We have executed it terribly, even with the success we've been given. even with the success that we not given, excuse me, even with the success we earned, which is, let's not jump up and down for joy, guys. It's literally a 3rd division European trophy, which is no different than a Carabao Cup, and the Club World Cup, which is like a European FA Cup. I rate that. Other than that, what are we saying here? What are we really saying here? What success have we gotten? I don't celebrate for finishing top 5. Like, I see people talking about Chelsea won't make top 5. Good, brother. Maybe they will switch up their execution. I'm not here for Champions League trophy places. We should have been competing for this fucking trophy. I am. My head is gone, bro. I'm so rattled.
Hey, Dev, that's something. I know I didn't go soon, but that's what I'm saying to the boys here. Obviously, two man in the chat. Hey, you see that? That's why I'm staying how I'm staying, because I actually do think they'll change it if we regress. Genuinely, I don't think that what they said before in the Pies tweet is actually pure. I actually do believe it. The reason why I believe it is it doesn't make sense to change it, and they don't make sense. I think they'll actually ironically change it. Genuinely.
No, I agree, bro. I feel like eventually there comes a.
I might admit there might be like 10% like hope that it happens. You know what I'm saying? But I just go on, ads.
Honestly, like the probability of them changing it is higher if we're in the Europa League or we have to do a season where we've messed up in it. So like I agree. The chances are higher, but again, it's just frustrating, bro. Obviously, you speak to this as well, Dev. Like, it's just when you're watching a club constantly making the wrong decisions off the pitch, it's hard to get behind it. And we're again, I would say we're supporters. We try to support the club, support the team, but it's hard to support and back something that you don't actually really believe in, because a lot of things they're doing off the pitch, they don't make sense. So that's why I wasn't hurt by the game until we were on top, and it's like, wait, we're actually going to do it. I'm actually supporting a team that might win this game against a team that I hate, and then we go and do what we do as always. And it's like, oh. It's very familiar. And I think because I went on Mo's show yesterday, I was like, I didn't learn anything new from the game, and I did learn some things really. But what it is I've seen that story before, played out many a time.
We've seen it,
we're all fans, we're all supporters, but we all analyze the game. We all talk about the games on the shows, and there's not a coincidence that all of us, when we were predicting the game or talking about the game, for the most part, we could have predicted if we knew we were going to lose the game, we would have predicted it just like that. That it would be 2 set pieces, it would be individual errors, it would be flipping a red card. We would have predicted that bar for bar, bro. So that's what's just like, it's painful, but also like we just know what it is now. So like, wait, what can you say to that?
No. You say we know what it is, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Even with knowing everything, I didn't know it was like that. Like the way I put it is, I looked at the record, I looked at the history. When we play Man United, I expect to draw, right, based on the history. But when I looked at this thing, and you have the context, I watch all these Arsenal games very, very intently, brother. Like, especially when it's a rival game, I watch every minute, I single out certain players, and then I watch the game over. Let me say it like this. That game, we still could have drawn. 10 men down. Again, we could have drawn. Again. So what does that insinuate? That insinuates at an 11v11 level, we have the capacity to beat Arsenal if it finishes full time with 11v11. We have not finished full time against Arsenal without a red card this year. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy it is for me to tell you we have gotten so many red cards? I'm starting to forget the names of the players that got the red card. Okay, we got Neto, we got Santos, and then you start counting it and you're like, holy shit, wait, I'm forgetting somebody. That's how many red cards we have. Like, it's that peak. We're on the
I only know because there's a whole
red cards in the fucking.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll let you continue there. But honestly, I only know the team, the players that we have red carded, because there's literally a lineup out online, bro, of the whole team. And right now, I knew we were just missing wingers. So now Neto's there. We're missing one more winger. We pretty much have a 4-11, bro. It's mad.
Hey, the good news is there's injuries back, which that giving me a bit of hope into the trophies.
No, we're not doing hopium talk, bro. We're not doing hopium. But Dev, continue, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. But continue,
bro.
No,
bro. Because I'm crashing the fuck out. Hell yeah, I'm crashing the fuck out. Hell yeah, I'm crashing the fuck out, bro. We haven't beat Arsenal in 5 fucking years since we won a fucking Champions League. Are you crazy? Are you mad? Bro, EPL we haven't won. Carabao Cup, they knocked us out. The last time we beat these motherfuckers, Lukaku was doing a knee slide to the corner flag.
Hey, man, if you saw this guy yesterday, he was stressing out. Don't let him do this. This brother, he's so shameless. He was stressing out on the phone watching the game with me, bro. Don't do that, this guy. Hey, man, people in the chat, you're spamming these comments. I need to remember what people have said before, because you love asking me good questions. Devin Ads can also respond to. Let me find one of them because one of the questions was quite important. Someone said, "How is it working?" This is in response to me saying it's working, not to the degree of winning leagues, but in terms of if you go up the league every year, you are factually progressing. So we go from like 4th to 2nd. Although you're not won a trophy, you're going up the league, innit? You get me? Like Arsenal did.
Chaz, the thing is,
One second.
though, is like they're saying this like.
Go on.
No, I'm saying they're saying this like they don't recognize what progress is. The whole reason it has been working up until this point is because factually we got back to the point we left off with Roman. Under Roman, we were a top 5 club, because now top 5 is Champions League, competing in every single cup. That means if you played Chelsea in the Carabao, the FA, or the UCL, you were going to get some work. We have literally returned to the same place, except we have more bozo center backs. We have, I don't want to go in too hard on Sanchez, but Sanchez came out yesterday. The bozo gene came out yesterday. If nobody wants to say it, I'll say it. I don't care how much you've improved this season. If that is inside of you, there's no way we're running an EPL. There's zero chance, especially with the center back line we have. So let me crash out it correctly so we can have some type of sense. Because I warned Ches. I said, Ches, if I go on stream, I'm crashing it, bro. I'm not. There's not logic to this. I'm not here to talk. I'm here to crash, bro. Like this is not. Look, the way I feel is this year. What were our expectations? Because everybody's changed the expectations like 3 fucking times. The expectations were to challenge for the league. You didn't have to win it. You just had to show a challenge, and to win a domestic cup of any type, shape, form. You get the UCL. You get the UCL. We went from we should challenge to we should be comfortably finishing in 3rd to we're fighting for 5th. So that's where we're at presently. Now let's bring in the Arsenal game because it's the whole reason we're here, right? You have a team who isn't that good, brother. I'm not going to sit here and be the salty guy because I lost. I'm telling you the truth. I don't care what Arsenal fans are in the chat. This team right here is not that good. Your Arsenal team is not that good. It's not. The gap between you guys and the league for competing is a problem, not counting City. Liverpool were on bullshit this year. Next year, I expect them to be back in the race. But the reality is the gap from that position, from 3rd down, is insane. People are saying this is the most competitive the league has been in some time, right? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Or is it a lot of teams are underperforming? Man United sits 3rd right now. Man United under Anarim. Now they got Carrick as an interim. Balling. All I have to say is this, and I just want to give it some real clarity. Chelsea Football Club has spent over $2 billion since this ownership has come in. Yes, a lot of that was on structural changes, this, that, and the third. So I'm not saying all the $2 billion is a waste. All I'm simply saying is they had a bigger reset than Roman Abramovich's. Am I lying? They had access to the equivalent amount of money, and they had no restrictions because they were playing UEFA for a fucking fiddle and playing the EPL for a fiddle. We were getting away with crazy deals. So not only did we have an advantage, we had a transfer advantage over the rest of the league. Look at where our squad is in 2026. Look at your main center back pairing. Look at your main winger pairing. As far as I'm concerned, I don't expect shit to change in the summer. Do you know why? Whether it regresses or not, I'm going to tell you why I don't expect shit to change. Because there is one cocky, egg-headed motherfucker at the top of this goddamn food chain that thinks he's right. And when you have a billionaire that thinks they're right about some shit, they don't change. Ask Mike Ashley at Newcastle. Ask Levy at Tottenham Hotspur, who are not there anymore. I wonder why. Bro, at a certain point in time, we have to be honest with ourselves in the mirror. There was no way in hell we should be fighting for 5th again this year. I'm not hearing it. A lot of people attributed it to Maresca, and this is my second crashing, bro. This is my literal second crashing. If it's literally down to that, if it's down to literally Maresca, why are we getting even more red cards after Maresca is gone? Somebody tell me that. I just want to know. If it was down to Maresca, why we kept dropping points? Why are we dropping the same?
Wait, why are people lying on my name, bro?
Points?
Why are you lying on my name? This is a lie.
No,
Why
you said
people
you backed
like
him, but
that?
it's not the same. If people are
What?
don't like, let's not be disingenuous. Like,
Yeah.
Ches said he backed him in a Chelsea shirt, and that people are being a little too harsh on him, which is a fair take at the time before he started doing all the
That's
bullshit he
literally
did.
what I said, by the way. I said
No.
the bar's so low, he can't do any worse than United.
And what did you say after he had all those games he played shit? You said no, he's shit. I
Yeah,
was
I
wrong.
said he's
So it's like, let's
dead
not do
tongue.
that.
Yeah, I literally said that. I was like, literally, he's been dead, innit?
I'm a fair man, bro. I come at people for what they say, and Ches didn't say that. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
can't be
conclude
with
this
it,
and
man.
let y'all get some of the floor. All I gotta say is this: we should have challenged for this league this year. We have the context. I'm not saying that in hindsight.
Bro,
Where
this
we
isn't
sit-
backing him, bro. Give him time. That literally be said for anybody. That could
Yeah,
literally mean anything, bro. What do you mean?
You know what it is, yo? You guys are going at Ches. You need to
Right.
go at Rob, bro. You need to go at Rob. Like, you're going at the wrong man for the Garnacho agenda. Let me tell you.
Nah,
But-
Lidge. Yo,
My-
man in the chat, love for the comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, though. Let's not do
Hit
that.
the like, so. Hit
Make
the
sure you
likes.
subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to figure out some maths here. And it's bugging me out. But I'm trying to focus as well, man. So make sure you smash that sub button for me. And ads as well. And
Nah,
then
these
we'll see on Don's channel as well.
These comments are
Don't
hilarious.
They're just trying to rage bait, bro. Honestly, they're trying to rage bait, bro.
Hey, why are we talking about Garnacho though? The guy didn't scored yesterday. Why are we doing this?
No.
He-
It's not
He
even
done
about
more than a
Garnacho.
certain guy that's not on the
It's-
thumbnail. He
How
did
much
more
did we
than a
spend on
certain guy who should be
Garnacho?
on the
Can someone
thumbnail.
remind me? I just don't want to get the
Come on,
number
man.
wrong. How much did we spend?
You are lazy with your takes, man. Man's a Garnacho. Why are you man flooding the chat with Garnacho? I didn't rate him like that. You
Wait,
man,
Chess, who's the
crazy.
certain guy? Who's the certain guy you want to crash it on?
No, not even crashing on Garnacho. I just want to ask how much Garnacho costs because I'm going to prove.
Oh,
the
no,
point
no,
of what
we
I'm
know,
saying.
no, we know he was
I don't know if I'm
40
ready
mil.
to do it. I'm not sure we're ready to speak about him
Okay.
right now. You know.
So here's my thing.
don't
How much
know.
does Semenyo cost? Somebody tell me. And I'm not saying because of the same
Was it
position like
65
that.
or
Just tell me
something?
how much Semenyo
I
costs.
think like, yes,
65, no?
65, yeah, 65.
So, do you think if we spent a little bit more and got Semenyo instead of Garnacho, this team would not be better? Yes or no? It's just a flat out question.
Oh, of course, way better, of course.
Okay, so here's my point. The model that I have an issue with, the whole thing people are talking about, oh, the strategy can't work, is they're choosing to pick the players they're picking. They're choosing to go for your Delaps and Garnachos when they had Sesko, Jokeres, Osimhen, the list goes on, brother. They had options. Hell, if we wanted to even go the dark route, we could have went even Tony before he went to his whole, let me go to Saudi Arabia thing. Then we had Duran, who also left for Saudi Arabia. Like, we had options. We had the pick of the litter at the time. Like, I didn't forget this because we were doing transfer shows all the time. We had the options. Other big clubs were not going in for these people. It's just like, bro, I'm tired because at the end of the day, this is what my concluding point is. We're going to go into the summer. People are going to be shocked because we're going to have an outgoing that's going to shock people. That's my guess. Some people are saying Palmer. Some people are saying Enzo. Some people are saying Fofana. I don't know who's going, but a big name is going to go from this club. And who they replace them with is going to show me everything I need to know. Because right now, our depth is shit. Our depth is not good enough. That's down to the sporting directors. That's down to our strategy and executing it terribly. Then our starting 11, if we're being honest, especially on the wings and our center backs, is not good enough. So where do we go from here, people? Once again, I repeat, we are a top 5 club that is competitive in trophies. Now we can't even be competitive in trophies because the type of way our squad is built, we are guaranteed to concede a set piece at least once every other game. And that's actually a statistical fact. Go look at Chelsea's stats. We have conceded a set piece goal, either from the corner, from a throw-in, or from an actual set piece in every other game for the entire season. Whatever, man.
Bro, you know what it is? They're speaking so much fact. I can't even lie.
He is.
Yeah, my
Oh, it's
freaking
not even-
MacBook's fuck. I didn't flipping update my MacBook before I left, so now I'm flipping bouncing back between that and my phone, bro. It's jarring. Just
Nah,
like
you're
this
good,
fucking
man.
club, bro.
But it's all good.
But yeah, no,
Chelsea
they're
could
spitting, bro.
What do you mean? One sec. Kukureya's leaving. I think he's saying probably possibly would leave. Bro, like, let me tell you this for free, yeah? All these, they're all gonna leave. You do realize Chelsea are great at selling. I know we're dead right now.
No, but Ches, that's entirely the
Bro.
point. Then you're proving the point that we are a selling club, that we're just a bigger Brighton. You're proving my point. So if
No,
let's say
that's
Palmer wanted to leave.
let's
No,
have a back and forth then. Let's have a back
Okay.
and forth. I
Go.
disagree with that. I don't think I don't think his back about as we're Richard Bryan, because that was the case. Why the hell would they sign for us and not sign for a bigger club then? Compared to Richard Bryan. Exactly. I just think that it's easy to make that conclusion when you're not. Listen, I said this yesterday to my guy, and this is a fact. And Ads and Devil stay quiet because it's a fact. You know, in life, yeah, you know when you don't win and don't succeed, there's always going to be reasons. And when you win and succeed, no one cares about those reasons. When you win, you win. When you lose, you explain. So when you're not doing well, there's always going to be like, they're going to sell this, the club hates this, there's turmoil in the training ground, no one likes the boots, the kit's rubbish, the stadium's leaking. You guys get my point. You guys smart enough to understand the context of what I'm saying. When you win, though, like Arsenal winning, things like Eze being crap go under the radar. People like Gyökeres, who only now get spoken about because he's scoring goals, ironically, goes under the radar when you're winning games. You don't hear nothing about the wages or the club or issues behind the scenes because you're winning games. It doesn't get aggregated on the news. So the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think Chelsea is going to be a selling club just because we follow the Brighton model. If we sell Palmer, it'll be for 150 million minimum. Is that a bad deal considering how crap you guys say he is?
But this is my pushback. I know what you're trying to come from.
Let's be consistent with the logic, people. Then, if we get 160 million there for Palmer, and he's so crap and he's so overrated, he's not world class. How can that be perceived as a bad deal then?
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Who are we going to replace Palmer with if we sold him and got 160 M's? Answer that for me.
This is not a good stat, by the way. But anyway.
Okay, and just really quick. Every time I see something about Arsenal, bro, my head goes left. Gyökeres is shit. Like, bro, have some shame. Even if you guys win the league this year, have some shame. You had Thierry Henry in your fucking striker position, and you're bringing up to me Gyökeres, who's scoring most of his goals against fodder. Are you serious? Name me one big club he scored a goal against. And if you say Spurs, I swear to God, I'm gonna smash my fucking phone into the fucking floor.
It's only us in the cup, bro. It's only us in the cup, and that was a gift.
A gift. What else is new? What else is new? That's my point. And you can bring up a Carabao Cup. People are, bro.
But let me just jump in there, because obviously there was an earlier point made about, just for me it's a results-based analysis. When people are just doing the whole, because Arsenal top of the league, so all their players are the best in the league, blah blah blah. Because we lost these games, we can't talk about what we actually did well or why we could have won. That's why we're here to analyze and talk about the game. But that's just the frustration, bro. Is these players, like we can see the level that they're at, but ultimately, when you're consistently just falling short, then there's a reason for that. And we know the reasons why. It's the reasons why we've all been so out loud about and like just upfront about how many mistakes this board are making, these directors are making. So that's very frustrating, bro. But what can we do? What I will say about Arsenal is ultimately, I've always said they are a very good team. It's just they are very difficult to beat. They are very difficult to beat. They are a good team. They'll be a great team if they go and win trophies, but you actually have to go and actually do it. You have to go and win trophies. And that's why their fans who are waffling and talking. I mean, I would say if you go and win, you'll get the respect.
Bro. They're comparing Gyökeres to Drogba,
hey, let's not even...
Bro, I had a fan yesterday, bro. I had a fan yesterday on Mo's show telling me, Rice is going to be in conversation with Frank Lampard, bro.
He's a joke, man.
I know, that's why I didn't respond to him with that. I was just like, bro, you just keep trying to rage bait, bro. But for me, I have to talk about the game, innit? And like...
No, I say this from the bottom of my soul, bro. I don't care what
I do it to banter people, but people know it's banter. No, people being serious. I'm like, bro, come on.
This is all I'm saying. What I would give from my personal life to
Deb, you know what it is though. The only thing I would say,
oh my days in Christ.
But Deb, you know what it is. The only thing I would say, is worst case scenario, Arsenal won the league. After all of this, they've only won one league in the time we've been crap. So we just got, like, as rivals, because obviously this is a Chelsea-Arsenal review show. So for anybody who's going to send me messages, i.e. my guy, about Arsenal with the head loss thing, it's not about Arsenal. I'm just saying, you man are this good. You man in the chat are flooding my chat, talking rubbish. Go win more than one league. Go win more than one champs. All this is too much. Go do something, please.
Yeah, before Deb comes back in, listen, the only copium, and it's not really much copium, because if you win the league, they're gonna have the whole summer to laugh and banter, and they're gonna have that, and they're gonna load this league title more than any other league title in history. And to a degree, I kind of get it, because I don't have any sympathy for them, but we have to accept that this is like the most pressure any team's had to ever win the league, and that's just being honest, because they've been second, 3 years in a row. as a
For-
major club, which they are, they've not won the league in 22 years. So obviously, when I talk about this on the show, people say, "Oh, you're bantering, you're trolling." I'm like, no, I'm actually being honest. Like, if Arsenal win this league, I'll give them respect that they actually have to get it out the mud and grind their way to a league. That's why I was so mad that City weren't going to push them. It looks like City will actually push them. So if they win it like this, fair play. I'll give them that. But again, to that point, growing up, when we were actually dunking it on these men regularly, we were actually winning trophies consistently while we did that. So that's the difference. That's the difference ultimately.
They know that though, and that's why they're
This guy in
responding.
the chat is funny.
And
That's
that's
an
how they're
Arsenal
responding with
fan.
stuff like this. So clearly, it's getting to you guys. So.
I have time today. Don't do this, brother. I love when Arsenal fans talk about cheating, talk about your team, our team doesn't need your respect, we're this, we're that. Brother in Christ, you treated in the 1920s to stay in the first Premier League division. Did you forget about that? You forgot about the brown envelopes? You forgot that? Do you know your own history since you want to go there? You want to remind me that there's a Carabao Cup goal that Gyökeres scored against us?
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
Let me go ahead, brother.
Let me respect my guy Olu, uncle in the chat. Beat yourself, bro, for the super chat every single time. Last time you beat Arsenal, I still had hair. Victims. This is actually factually not correct. Wait, actually, it might be because Chelsea beat Arsenal in 2021, was it, boys?
2021,
22?
yeah. There's 5 years. He easily could not have hair.
Was it a year after we won the UCL? Was it the same year? Might have been the year after, no? With Lukaku and
no, it was literally that like the couple months after when the Champions League. Yeah. It was like 2 games into the season. Yeah.
So Ollie, you had hair what? Oh damn, boys, that's 5 years ago. Let's move on. Love for the super chat, bro. I just deep when you just said it's 5 years ago. That's mad.
They're like, why are we talking about Arsenal as if we weren't just talking about a Chelsea-Arsenal game after spending 40 minutes ripping into our team, and then we finally addressed our opposition. And it's like, why are the Chelsea fans talking about Arsenal?
Hey, man, you know Chelsea fans are still doing the opium thing. Man said, read these comments. Man said they're not going to win it. My guy, remember, Arsenal win the league. Look, we all know this, Ches. What? You might
honestly, they might not. But listen, I'm not going to do the thing where like, oh, they're not going to win it because City are going to catch them, the Blue Sharks. Because honestly, City don't really look like themselves. This is why this title race is open, and it's interesting from a neutral perspective. I mean, I'm not neutral. I want Arsenal to bottle it, ideally. But honestly, like it's interesting because you don't know how it's going to go because you've never seen a team at the top of the table like this, where none of their attacking players are actually having great seasons. None of them are. We're being honest, but what they have, which is now looking to be sustainable, is the set pieces. Because start of the season, we were like the amazing defense, being great off the ball. And then listen, they're great off the ball, which isn't just down to the defense and the midfield. Their attack is great at it too. So their managers obviously coached them very well, which is why I always say they are a very good team. If they win the league, they will be a great team. Well, at least great in terms of this season. But for me, it's a case of like, we know what it is. They're right now. It's proven to be sustainable. That are actually keeping this run of form going, and it's also you're able to do it because it's a season where there's not an elite team right now. We know what it is. This is the lowest points total that our teams had leading the table since Leicester. So we know what it is. They're a good team, not a great team. But if they win it, fair play. If they don't, that's 4 seconds in a row, and that's never been done before.
Yeah, but to be fair,
from winning positions, by the way.
Like they know this is more than we have to. They have to win the league. Like, it's not even even the most, I think, positive Arsenal fans are hearing them say it. Then you know your club needs to win. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I personally, to wrap this little segment up, we'll talk about the Neto thing, red cards and Palmer before we leave. I personally believe that Arsenal would deserve to win the league because you win the league, you win the league. It's not nice on the eyes. Dev is correct. When we play them, they don't look like a team who's going to win the league. They don't. By the end of the day, like I said before, small margins. And that little bit better than us is why I might win the league. I might go win the Champions League or whatever it is. So at the end of the day, I can't hate on that. What I don't like is when the fans overgas it. Like I said, the rage baiting. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Like you need to win something to be rage bait. I can rage bait because I've won stuff even recently. That makes sense.
Of course. Also to the Arsenal fan who keeps asking about Palmer, we spent 15 minutes slating Palmer, slating our defense, slating our wingers, slating the fact that we're still having the same exact issues post another manager. So I don't know where you checked in because you heard Arsenal and decided to perk your ears up, but we spent the first 35 minutes killing this team. So shut the fuck up and let's finish killing the team. We're going to Neto next.
I do want to speak about Palmer a little bit more though. I do want to speak about Palmer now a little bit more. Because I want to understand, do you think like, let me remove that. Do you feel like Palmer's down tooling on purpose? Do you think this is deliberate? or do you just genuinely believe it's the injury? What do you guys think?
I think his head is gone. I also think the injury is playing a part, and I also think we're just not stable right now. So 9 out of 10 times when you're not stable, your best players tend to perform inconsistently. I mean, this is a fact. You saw even with Hazard in his prime, when that year when we were just being fucking stupid. Like, he had a poor season by all standards of Hazard. So it's like, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a combination of all three.
Hey, chat, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Like, do you think Palmer wants to leave? Do you feel like the injury is really affecting him? Do you feel like the confidence is low because of the injury? Is he being selfish, chat? I want to know from Devon ads in the chat. Is he being selfish to not get the surgery to play World Cup? Or do you understand that? Because from one point of view, I'm like, yo, you're injured. Go and get the surgery and come back stronger, Dev. But in one breath, it is the World Cup. And he is like 22. So it would be a good chance to play and perform. But I don't really know what you guys think, if that's fair for me to criticize that. Because if it was me or you, Dev, or maybe the chat, would you not want to play in the World Cup? Would you not want to play in the biggest competition with all your boys that you grew up with, like Morgan Rogers and all them, man? What do you think?
I just think that the Palmer talk is just, it's our fault, rightfully so. We put him on a pedestal where he should have been based on how he's performing, and he's not performing to that level. No different than Saka hasn't been the whole entire season. So what you do is, when your best player or one of your best players is not performing consistently, you crucify them, you criticize them, because they get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. That's literally their job, to absorb criticism and play consistently. So as far as I'm concerned, this is only happening because we decided to tag Palmer with the world-class tag. And that's what happens when you, no different than Saka or Foden. I'm bringing up players for examples. When you tag somebody with the world-class tag, they're going to get world-class criticism. And Palmer yesterday was not even playing to half of his capacity of what he should be on the pitch. So as far as I'm concerned, that's going to keep happening. It's no different than Caicedo at the beginning of the season, midterm of the season, when he got that red card and then he was starting to be poor because he was playing too many games. Conversation for another day. Enzo similarly, giving away the ball cheaply too many times, playing too many games. So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to keep going on until, one, we get some more stability from top to bottom, and two, I mean, he was playing on the left yesterday, and that clearly didn't help. So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, we sacrificed him off the right yesterday for Neto, who got a fucking red card. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. You gotta laugh. You have to laugh sometimes. Like, bro, we sacrificed Palmer on the right for Neto, who got a red card. And then adds here, when I segue to him and let him crash it on Neto because he waited. My man's has been waiting weeks while people were saying all that stuff in the chat about Neto, and I was indifferent. I was just like, yo, he's performing right now. Take it away, brother. It's you. I just want to talk about Neto. Tell me what you feel about Neto. Just you give me your answer, dog.
I just feel what I've been feeling the whole season with Neto. Now it's like, it's got to a point now where it doesn't even get me as angry anymore. If anything, what gets me mad is people like Rob, and previously people like Jimmy, or Jimmy came around to it as well, where they're like, they were defending him, saying, you're too harsh on Neto, he's this, he's that. But it's like, he looks just as naive as the rest of the kids that we've bought, bro. And this is a guy, like I was saying for so long, a guy in his prime, Premier League proven, the most expensive attacker that we've signed. Yes, I get it, Palmer's a bigger stature, whatever. But with Neto, he was meant to give us quality that is assured right now that you can rely upon. And this guy doesn't give you relied upon a quality. And even if you just look at the game from a tactical point of view, a lot of our attacks end up with him as the 1v1 winger to go and create, to give me something. And that's my frustration from the gamers, and why I'm frustrated at the season. And I thought we would actually get something from this season is I thought we would have more goals. I'm looking at our attack and we don't have enough goals. And people are talking to me about Neto's improved GA, which to me is fugazi. But either way, look at games like yesterday, bro. What did he offer us in the attack? Very little, very little. And then to top it off, he comes up with that awful corner, which again, we all admit, by the way, that game was all about set pieces for them and for us. We admit it. It is what it is. He comes up with a dead corner where that's our chance to actually go and score a goal and maybe go up a goal. And then he goes and gets a second yellow. And his first thing is to be like, no, that's my first yellow. This brother's so brainy, he didn't even know that he already had a yellow card. How do you do that in your profession? How?
I missed. I didn't see that.
I don't get how you do that, and it's criminal because the dissent that he got, which again is another dissent that we've got, which is criminal that this club is getting this many dissents.
How many games did he miss, by the way?
He only misses one because there's a one game ban. So he misses the Villa game, which means. Well, yeah, I mean, thank God, I guess, because obviously his replacement is number 49, which is obviously no better.
It's not even that. Estebal's only coming back. We need numbers.
Yeah, no, for sure, we need the numbers. But it's just the frustration is that this is one of your more experienced guys. You're meant to be relied upon, and the yellow cards he's picking up are ridiculous. That the yellow card that he got was 3 times he went up to the referee to moan about something. I think just after their goal, and then on the third one he gets the yellow card, but he wasn't looking. For whatever reason, he wasn't looking at the ref when he got the yellow card. He wasn't aware of it. Nobody else made him aware, which again is a team issue as well. But ultimately, again, the decision to make that foul, how he did it, criminal, really unforgivable. And obviously, that's why I sympathize with the manager and his comment, because the frustration's clear when you're watching shit like that.
Bro, I've tried to reduce this for weeks because everyone labels the red cards from the Neto, for example, as immature. But I'm like, these guys aren't that young. Like, they're not 19. A lot of these guys are mid-20s. Like, people who live mid-20s.
A Gen Z in their mid-20s is lit. Let me not speak, bro. Let me actually not speak.
I think I know what you're going to allude to. I'm not going to take what you say, but I'll let you land that point. But in my opinion, I think it's genuinely deeper than just, like, immaturity. Because there's too many red cards to just be immature. After the first 3, it's like, you're immature. Let's learn, guys. No one's learning.
I already told you, brother.
No one's learning, bro. So for me,
you know the agenda I'm running.
I genuinely I understand this, by the way. I definitely agree with this. But I genuinely think it's deeper than just that. I think there's a lot of contributing factors. I genuinely believe they're coasty, they're chilling, they earn good money, they're on high wages. I don't think they have the same affinity as we do. Do you know what I'm saying, this ads? Because we can draw against Arsenal 10 men, then the same players go to Leeds and get whooped. And yes, the manager had a large part to play. But we've seen teams like Liverpool go to Forest, get tactically outdone and still win the game. Yeah. Man them step up and do their job. That happens in football. Arsenal yesterday were probably worse than Chelsea, but the man them just stepped up. They tactically weren't better than us, probably worse. They didn't create much. We had opportunities to score more than 3 goals, but they win the game.
Yeah, in the end, it was their goalkeeper that made more saves than us, for sure. But you're absolutely right.
The goalkeeper had to make the individual quality saves to win the game. It wasn't the team performed that great. So the point to the makers, to you two, you give my point, or understand it at least, is that I just genuinely believe that players overall as a camp, they're very chill. It's very nonchalant. It's very like, it is what it is. We get our money. We get top 4, we get top 4. Not much is going to happen. I don't think that they got the same drive. I don't think it's just, oh, we're young. Let me just go be stupid. Because ads, you don't need to be young or old to know if you're in a yellow card, you don't shout at the ref. You don't need, that's not immaturity, that's just stupidity, bro. And stupidity comes from an element of like naivety. Yeah. And arrogance. And I think it's being arrogant. He's probably like, I don't care, whatever. If you're really on it, on a yellow card, you don't do that. You don't need to be 29 to know that, or 21. That's just common sense. And
honestly, you're right, bro. What it is like,
you don't make it to Premier League level being stupid. You just don't.
No, you don't.
That don't make sense. So let's be logical with these people. It's not to say things like, I might put it in the chat to raise people to make you guys comment, to talk on it, cool. But on a serious level, you're not that stupid enough to make it to Premier League level and do something like that, Devin.
You know what it is like? There's certain buzzwords in certain fan bases, in certain communities, and one that we use is, experienced players, and this team is now inexperienced. But for me, the issue is, like you said, naivety. But that comes down to the cultural issue at the club. We've been saying it for a long time. When the club is not built the right way it should be built, then you're going to have these kind of issues popping up. And it's not a case of, Neto was too old to make this kind of issue. The reason why we talk about the club being built the right way and actually buying leaders and buying captains is that you have a culture set by a captain. But again, the captain of this club currently is Reece James, who obviously we love and appreciate, and he had a great game, another great game. But we can't ignore the fact that a year ago, Maresca was questioning his ability to be a captain, to be a leader. So obviously he had to go and improve upon that. But my point is in the old days when we had like several captains of their nations as our club, of course this wasn't going to be happening because you have a proper culture that's set by leaders. And this current team here is the youngest team in Europe. It's no coincidence that it's going to be having all these kind of naive mistakes. It's the youngest team. Doesn't mean that all your experienced players are going to be experienced. No, there's certain cultures that are set when the overall in the overall place, the overall setting is full of naive people. And again, like I say, it comes from the top, because you're right. The players are comfortable because there's this culture that's set that where it's okay just to get top 5. Well, I mean, remember last season when Maresca was talking about we're not in we're not in the a title race. We're not in a title race. There's all that talk. We're not in a title race. It's okay to get top 5. That will be improvements. You saw him at the end when we beat Forest and we got top 4. That was great. We saw how he was like, flexing. He was now flexing on the media, being like, "Oh, F off to all the people that said no, we're not going to do it." So like that just shows that, again, not that was anything bad, but it just shows that that's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to achieve. And right now the bar hasn't been set high enough. So ultimately, when the bar's not set that high, we know what the players want. We know what the players
want. That's literally what it is, though.
We know what they want.
You hit the nail on the head with the example of like the petulant because that's something I would do. I would genuinely come out and say, bun the haters. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that, like, bun you man who didn't rate me. And people who usually do that, context of the needed what you're talking about. Football's a bit more like, what's the word?
But this is their profession, and these are the elite level of their profession. I can't do that at my job.
Yeah, if we're talking about PS5, like me and you play on FIFA, that's different. Like you do a little banter post. When you're talking about a job, like it's actually your job.
Literally. And you're paid money, you're at the elite level, the standards are the highest. And that's why for me it's so frustrating watching this, because I know what elite sportsmen look like at other sports, as well as at this club previously. And at this club, it's like they're not taking it as seriously as they should be taking it, bro. It's crazy. But again, we're looking like a top 5 team. The culture is looking like a top 5 culture. But ultimately, that's not a Chelsea culture that we grew up on. The Chelsea culture that we grew up on was meant to be, competing and winning the league. Competing and winning, going far into Champions League. And right now, we've not done that for so long now that, now we're looking like, honestly, let's be real, guys. We're looking like Arsenal from the 2010s eras when they had, the Klebs, the Nasris, they had a pretty team, they played great football under Wenger, but they weren't winning nothing. And then they were a decent cup team towards the end. They won some FA Cups. That's where we are now. We're a slightly better version because we won the Club World Cup. We won the Champions League 5 years ago. Cool. But that's all we are now, is that kind of team. And that has to change from the top.
I think that was our first loss ads in the Prem with him. I don't look at many games and blame it on him. Maybe the second leg of the Carabao Cup, even that tactic I actually thought was good. Even the commentator said it was good. It was just the last 15 minutes we need to adapt to it.
Execution. From the attacking players, they just didn't execute anything. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then you could argue the tactics you should change up towards the end, but it worked up to that point. So I do understand both sides. I was agreeing with it until the last 10 minutes. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on that. For the rest of the games, I don't really look at them and go, tactically we're outdone. It's a lack of quality. I think most of them have been winning. So, like, for example, the Leeds game was like, that had nothing to do with tactics, bro. Caicedo does stupidness, and the Bows are defending. Even Burnley, man marking, Santos, 0 to do with tactics.
Yeah,
that's just a man who's guy, and just, like, it's probably them ones at the end of the games we're thinking, it'll be okay. It's Burnley, like, it's calm. Like, that's how man them think. They're like, it's calm. They don't do nothing. Who's Fleming? Whatever, innit?
I know, and that's why you see these like performances against the top dogs, and that's why I don't necessarily worry about our performances against the top teams. I worry about the results, because I always say that the small margins is what cost you at the elite level, because you're playing against the best team, let's say in Europe, or one of the best teams, right? Even though people want to criticize their football, I always give them their credit. They're a very tough team to beat. It's proven in Europe and in England. They just need to actually win trophies. But at this level, when you're playing against a better team, the likes of, Arsenal's, your Bayern, whenever Liverpool aren't in bad form, Man City, like, it's not easy to beat these kind of teams. But I'll be honest, Ches, bro, like, under Rosenior, we've had some not so great games. Like, even Brentford at home, bro, like, that game, we were struggling for most of that game. And obviously, we scored the 2 goals. João Pedro scored an amazing goal with his left foot. Like, without that, and then I think the penalty we got, I think Palmer scored a penalty second half. Without that, we probably don't win that game.
I've got a pen. No,
the
but
the lap won the pen, and obviously Palmer scored. But sorry, just to say, I only bring that up just to say that, like, against the better team so far, we're not looking that great. Like, against Arsenal, we were decent, but did we actually? Again, are we going to win the game against Arsenal? We played that game out 10 times, bro. Honestly, how many do we actually win? Let's be honest.
No. I'm not
win many.
I'm not looking at this game from what I've seen, and look at the manager for that game. Genuinely.
But I'm not looking at the manager. I'm just saying in terms of performances, like in terms of where the season's going to end. And again,
performance.
No, it wasn't horrible. My point is not horrible. I'm talking about in terms of where this season's.
With a better team than them. We're probably better than them.
Second half, yeah, second half. But my point is against the better teams. My point is I thought there's going to be a reoccurring pattern of against the better teams, we're going to struggle to get consistent results. Because people are like, oh, against the better teams, Chelsea play to the level and we normally get results. Well, I don't think we're going to get that many enough to get top 5.
Who was a big game manager? We didn't win many games away from home either.
Yeah, exactly. This is my point.
So like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not the original comment is about the manager.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's what I'm not talking about the overall. I'm saying the manager. I'm not looking at Maresca. Maybe I was actually, but so far, Rosinha, I'm not looking at him away from home and going, we've only played, I think, 2 games away from home that are big, Napoli and this one. We won the Napoli one, sorry. Arsenal one, we've lost. It was a close game, we lost. But you could add the context was close, whatnot. But I'm not looking at those 2 games, looking at him. First half, Napoli, yes, we corrected it. We won the game, so we got the result. If we corrected it yesterday, for example, and João Pedro scores from the header and we're winning 2-1 and we can see the goal, we'll still be annoyed, but we didn't lose. The results are going to matter. We've got tough games coming up at home. So this is where our conversation we're going to find out, because you've got all these teams at home. So there's literally no excuse not to beat them. And one of them as well is Liverpool away, which we haven't won there or drawn there in a long time since COVID with Mount.
So the reason why I brought up the because you're absolutely right, bro. Like we've got some hard games coming up, and ultimately you're right to bring up the Napoli game because the manager did make some subtle changes, but I think for me the decisive factor was João Pedro. And again, obviously in terms of top 5, which we've all agreed right now, it's not the be all and end all because who will be signing in the summer is who we're going to sign. We got top 5 last summer and we wasted that money essentially, right? But in terms of like the big games to end the season, we're going to need our top players to actually perform. And João Pedro, if he comes and gives you a moment, then that's something we could bank on. But with Palmer, we've seen it of late. It's not been consistent. We've not been consistent of quality in terms of the big games. Again, we saw it even last season when he was fully fit. Now he's obviously nursing something, which of course he's nursing because he wants to get to the World Cup. I heard the conversation earlier. You can say it's maybe selfish. You can also say it's pressure from the club because the club doesn't want him to, take that long off. And maybe he doesn't want to miss the World Cup. So it's a lot goes into it. Certainly, again, that's an issue of the club because the whole club is on the back of a 22-year-old. He's only had a couple of seasons at the top flight level. Obviously he had a world-class season, but prior to that, he was a bit part player for Man City. Then obviously he had the season last season, now this season with his first proper injury. So that's a lot of pressure now to be on this guy. But again, that's the nature where football is. But my point again, just to round up, right? Again, I bring up Brentford, I bring up obviously these Arsenal games just to say that we're going to need our players to actually turn up because again, Brentford was won by moments of individual quality by João Pedro. Obviously, this Arsenal game might have been one of João Pedro done his thing. The cup game against them at the Emirates, second half, where we play our very defensive tactic, which was, I guess, relatively smart from the manager. You bring on your guns in Palmer and Esteban off the bench, but they didn't bring any real quality to win that game. So my point is the players are going to have to win these games because the manager's good, but the manager's not prime Mourinho. He's not prime Mourinho. He's not going to go and win games just by him. So he needs the players to actually do it. He might win the smaller games, but not enough of the big games.
Yeah, bro, I completely agree with you. And you're more referencing to the quality. What you're saying, no matter what system, is always going to be the case. The manager isn't on the pitch. They can't kick the ball in the back of the net. So it's always going to be on the players. Yes, some managers do more tactically to make it easier for them. And some more rely on not vibes, but figuring out. Like Klopp was more of a, you go for it, bit of tactical base, but it's on individuals to get the thing done. Very fluid system. Firmino goes up front, drops in, Salah, Mane, interchanging, whatnot. But for our players, if they lack the quality, then we're always going to see us fall short. So it is on the players like Palmer, who are one of the best players in the league, to step up. Esfal, top talent, Enzo Fernandez, etc., to step up. Because without them, if there's no other quality to help them in terms of the bench and the competition, we're going to be stuck. So that's why if we do make this top 4, it means the players have probably stepped up. Because overall, our system's not going to be the best. Our tactics aren't going to be the best because we ain't got the best manager. We ain't got the best players. So we got to rely on our best players to perform. And that's why, as to finish off this very segment and the stream, I'm happy with our squad being back because now it means you can rest your best players and hopefully now they perform to their best abilities. Less, meaning they play less games or less minutes. So when they do play, it's a high level. So end it on that. Everyone who's joined, everyone on the stream. I know ads, it's going to go on Don's stream. This is going to redirect over to Don's stream. Dev as well, his rant was funny and it was also factual. So a bit of both. We'll be back tomorrow or tonight or both. You guys will look out for that. Do our ads every single time. And Dev, we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Put a raid in the chat, say Chairs99. Ads will be there as well, so we'll see you there, man. In a bit. Good evening. Safe.